This week's campaign under Observed Quarantine is Dead Before Dawn by Darth Brush and team.
This long-awaited campaign, which was promised shortly after the release of Left 4 Dead, was finally delivered to us, and it did not disappoint. The campaign ticked all the boxes, allowing us to feel engrossed within the campaign, and brought originality that separated itself from other custom content out there. Gameplay-wise, it was tense, fun, and gripping. You did not feel stressed, you felt challenged by the campaign, meaning that you had to draw new skills to overcome unusual crescendos that were both brilliant in idea as well as execution.
Unfortunately, the cruel hand of fate also seemed to have a lot to play in this campaign, when our entire team was incapped by an explosion-instigated flying car, with no warning. It seemed like quite an unfair event because there was no way out of it, and we lost the game because of that one random piece of misfortune. The second time we played, however, we were more wary of flying cars, and instead of being incapped by them, we managed to avoid them and enjoy their aesthetic awesomeness. But cruel fate later returned in liquid vapour form when I was harassed by a burning spray of a steam pipe. The damage caused me to be incapacitated, and was released in continuous unforgiving bursts that prevented me from being pulled to my feet. So I eventually died, and there was nothing anyone could do about it.
These events may have been annoying, but they showed that this campaign would keep you on your toes, and this is good, as it meant that you had to be more aware of your surroundings if you didn't want to die. This was great because it added depth to the gameplay and forced you to alter your skills in order to overcome what might be coming next. The campaign featured a basic level of puzzle solving. During an office complex where you had to backtrack a lot repeatedly in order to process a certain number of buttons in that right order. This was a bit too confusing, as the order was not obvious and would have been difficult to solve, though there was some minor help from TVs with arrows. But this became aggravating, and although we solved it, we felt that perhaps some further clarity would have improved such areas.
It's kind of like the equivalent of giving a dot to Gordon Freeman and then removing the numbers.
Now, Dead Before Dawn has to be played with no less than 4 human players. The bots, due to their programming, remain empty-headed and useless a lot of the time. When playing single player or with 2 people, this can be unforgiving and not very enjoyable. Perhaps something that's not the maker's fault, but it is something that perhaps could be thought about more in future revisions of the campaign.
Visually, the campaign was very accurate in its depiction of the Crossroads Mall and other locations found throughout the film of Dawn of the Dead. But what I liked about it most was the fact that it wasn't a recreation of the story, it was a homage, and it was a really good homage at that.
It featured many references to other Source games, including videos of the Left 4 Dead 2 trailer, a life-size cardboard cutout of Shell from Portal, and some companion cubes, as well as posters for other Left 4 Dead custom campaigns, including I Hate Mountains. This helped to attribute to its level of detail, which was outstanding, impressive, and awesome all at the same time. There was no shortcuts made with this. A whole lot of effort was put in by Darth Brush, who brought together an awesome team.
Yeah, I mean, even the voice acting was great. The character CJ, who appears later as just an audio track over the radios, was hilariously obnoxious and really well characterised.
I can't do it. Blah, 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 blah.
But that wasn't the only custom audio brought in. There are some new sounds and music for the tank events and Witch Cry and any other of the panic events and things. They blended really well, and although they were noticeably different, they weren't out of place in Left 4 Dead's atmosphere.
The finale to Dead Before Dawn was unexpected, but not in a good way. This didn't feel like a finale, more like a sustained crescendo event from Left 4 Dead 2. Unlike other finales, which were clearly defined, this one was just a panic event that we just seemed to fall into rather than something where we had to get really ready for the struggle that was coming. When it ended, we felt kind of cheated from it. We had been playing this awesome campaign and it just seemed to have been cut short and abruptly.
Yeah, it didn't actually feel like it was a real ending. But despite that, Dead Before Dawn is one of the greatest Left 4 Dead campaigns out. It doesn't fail to impress, and it's something that every Left 4 Dead player must fire their boomsticks on.